But this year, you'll have a little extra time to pay.
Police in Kansas City are investigating the cause of deadly house explosion.
Plus, a new infrastructure bill is one step closer to the governor's desk. This is KOMU 8 News at 6.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Well, it's been gorgeous in mid-Missouri for the past few days, but the weather is taking a turn for the colder. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Spain.
And I'm Namdi Agwandu. Thank you for joining us. Let's send it right over to KOMU 8 Chief Meteorologist Kenton Drecke for more on what we can expect. Kenton?
All right, we'll take a look here at our winds all across the Midwest. You can see 23-mile-an-hour sustained winds in Kansas City. Everything is in from the southwest right now, and so are our gusts, of course, gusting around 30 miles per hour in Columbia, actually pretty much all along I-70. More, though, 37-mile-per-hour wind gusts over there in Kansas City. So those are slowly starting to calm, and they will be much calmer overnight tonight. And then tomorrow, our winds are sustained once again, mainly between about 10 to 20 miles per hour, a little bit stronger up to the north where it's going to be closer to that low-pressure system. It'll calm down even more for our weekend. Current temperatures are cooler. We were in the 70s earlier today. Now we are around 60 degrees throughout much of mid-Missouri. It's about 25 degrees colder than we were 24 hours ago when we were in the middle 80s. The warmest day of the year was yesterday. I'm tracking cooler temperatures this weekend and better rain chances. A new system coming up.
Okay, Kenton, thank you very much. As Missourians finish filing their taxes Monday, you may not have to pay the entire amount.
Missouri lawmakers are pushing to pass a bill giving taxpayers an extension. KOMU 8's Garrett Diaz joins us live to explain how you could get the extension yourself.
I'm standing here in Jefferson City outside the Capitol building, where Wednesday the House passed a bill that would give taxpayers an extra month to pay state taxes without penalties. Now, the bill would allow taxpayers until May 15th to pay outstanding state taxes for their 2018 returns. To receive the extension, you still need to file your taxes on time. The bill allows for a payment plan with the Department of Revenue, but after May 15th, the payments would have interest. The bill's sponsor said it gives people time to organize their finances.
I would plan on, if you've got a bill, you weren't expecting it, start making your plans according to the bill. The interest free for a month and then no penalties for the year, because I'm reasonably certain that this will pass.
If signed by the governor, the bill will be effective immediately. Reporting live in Jefferson City, Garrett Diaz, KOMU 8 News.
This is the culmination of a series of events that started in March of 2018 with the federal tax law overhaul. We'll break it down here for you. In March, revenue officials adjusted the state's tax withholding tables to respond to President Trump's federal tax law overhaul. That September, then Department of Revenue Director Joel Walters announced there was a 15-year-old mistake on the tables. So then in October, Walters' changes went into effect and the tables were adjusted again. But on the first day of 2019, the state issued new withholding tables to eliminate the mistake. In February, Governor Parson defended how Walters handled the issue and accused lawmakers of, quote, grandstanding by making him testify multiple times about the issue. The week after, Walters told lawmakers there was no error on the state's withholding tables. Walters eventually resigned on March 22nd. Earlier this month, State Auditor Nicole Galloway alleged the Department of Revenue broke the law when it privately changed the withholding tables. Galloway says the DOR needed to propose a regulation change before revising the tables in October of 2018. That would have allowed more public input on an adjustment that would take more money from paychecks.
The implosion of the old Route 47 bridge over the Missouri River drew quite the crowd. Take a look at this. The bridge came down just like that at 10:30 this morning. The bridge crossed the river at the town of Washington. The demolition was scheduled for the start of the month, but was pushed back after heavy flooding. On the other side of the state, Kansas City police are investigating a deadly house explosion. Surveillance video from a store across the street shows the moment the house blows up. The Kansas City Fire Department hasn't said what caused the explosion. Police are also working to find the identity of the person killed. Property records indicate the house belongs to Melvin Mecker. Friends have also identified him as the body found in the rubble.
Here's what's happening right now. The issue of whether Planned Parenthood can perform abortions at its Columbia clinic is now in the hands of an appeals court. Planned Parenthood is asking the court to put a temporary hold on a case that would decide whether abortions would be allowed. According to court documents, Planned Parenthood is asking the court to wait until the U.S. Supreme Court decides a Louisiana case. Planned Parenthood is already challenging a February ruling in Missouri. That ruling denied a request to stop the state from enforcing rules that would require doctors to have hospital admitting privileges before they could perform an abortion. A Columbia man will spend the next decade in prison after his wife returned a rental car with, get this, almost a kilo of meth in the trunk. A federal judge sentenced 37-year-old Milton McGruger to 10 years in prison. According to prosecutors, in 2017, employees at Enterprise Rent-A-Car in Columbia found a 934-gram bag of meth in the trunk of a car returned by his wife. Police arrested him when he came to the rental car trying to get that bag. A man awaiting trial for attempted kidnapping and a separate rape case is now facing more charges for an incident in 2017. According to court documents, Anthony Roel is accused of posing as a police officer. The victim told police she left a Columbia bar after midnight when her car ran out of gas. Roel came up behind her, identifying himself as a police officer. The victim was told she must perform a sexual favor to get out of a drunk driving ticket. Roel's bond for all three charges is set at $500,000. A former junior ROTC instructor at a southern Missouri high school has pleaded guilty to charges of assault and child endangerment. Court documents say 57-year-old David Long repeatedly grazed a 15-year-old student's body with a knife and gave her enough alcohol to pass out. Allegations against Long first came out in 2016 when a former student said she had a year-long sexual relationship with him.
A group of people believe they don't have to follow the rules, how police are learning to deal with them.
Plus, a closer look at a bill that would help fix Missouri's roads.
And there are a few showers getting through just our eastern viewing area here through Gasconade and Montgomery counties. We do have some clearer sky, though, already pushing in on the western area, where I'm going to be tracking this hour by hour. Plus, ahead to our next rain chance this weekend.
Welcome back. Video from a town on the Kansas-Missouri border shows the scene after a man refused to pull over for police because he says he's a sovereign citizen. According to the FBI, sovereign citizens believe they are separate from the United States.
They say they don't have to answer to any government authority, including courts, motor vehicle departments, or law enforcement. This can make their interactions with police rather difficult. KSHB's Jordan Betts has more on how officers are struggling to respond.
Open it.
Body cam footage shows Aaron Fletcher refusing to get out of his car after Sugar Creek police officers try to pull him over. Police say the reason he wouldn't pull over is because he identifies as a sovereign citizen. While the investigation into what happened during that police stop continues, we went to the experts to find out more about this group.
I think their number one belief is that they are not subject to the control of United States laws.
Put your legs in. I can't put my legs in.
For police, it can be hard to deal with the group because of their belief.
And then you add into the mix there someone who doesn't believe that law enforcement officers have legal authority to apprehend them. It's extremely difficult, and they often, and that's why you see situations where you see officers using the force that they use to get that person out of the vehicle.
Dr. John Hamilton, a retired Casey Mo police officer, says officers need to be familiar with the group or it can turn ugly.
And so you don't know what you're dealing with, or you don't know whether you're dealing with an individual who really is very well versed on all the laws that they've read, the federal laws that say that they're empowered to do that, and those that really don't know those kinds of things, but just decide that it sounds like something interesting to do.
It can also be difficult for attorneys who represent them.
It's harmful for them because if they say those things in open court, they're seen as being in defiance of our laws and our government, and naturally, prosecutors and judges don't take very kindly to that type of an attitude.
The professor has advice to anyone who thinks they're above the law and are part of the movement.
To cooperate, to make sure you show your hands, to do what the officer tells you to do as long as it's all lawful and appropriate. And then if you have problems with that, you can settle it at a later time through other kinds of channels.
The FBI says most sovereign citizens don't pose a threat to officers, but there have been instances of violence, like in 2010 when an Arkansas man and his son shot and killed 2 police officers during a traffic stop.
Well, we're heading below average as we head towards our day tomorrow and this weekend with our temperatures. Calming winds, though, that's good news. Then we have more rain in store for the end of our weekend and more next week, too. Tracking 2 new systems coming up.
Welcome back. The Senate now has a plan to repair bridges across Missouri if it can get the federal government to play along. KMUH's David Medina was at the Senate hearing today and is in the studio with the latest plan to pay for the repairs.
The Senate agreed to pass a $350 million plan to fund the repairs of over 200 bridges in Missouri. $300 million would come from a bond issue and $50 million from direct spending, but the plan does have one big restriction. It would only go through if Missouri received a federal grant that would help pay for repairs. It includes the repairs of the I-70 bridge. Governor Parson proposed a different plan which would not have depended on the grant. A state senator says he thinks Missouri is close to receiving the much-needed grant.
It's my understanding from talking to Director Patrick McKenna that we have a good chance of receiving an award under that program.
Governor Parson put out a statement saying, while our preference would be for an approach that does not put the fate of long overdue bridge repairs in the hands of Washington, D.C., we certainly understand that any proposed plan requires compromise to reach a workable solution. In the studio, David Medina, KMUH News.
Yesterday was the warmest day we've had so far this year, 86 degrees, 74 only our high temperature today. Low is actually now in the 50s. Our low temperature will be here late tonight. It's going to happen around 11:59 because we're going to continue a cooling trend. We only reached about 69 for our morning low temperature, but for the entire day, of course, it will be later tonight. Otherwise, average high temperature this time of the year is 65. So that means that all night last night we were warmer than the average high temperature for this time of year. We're at 50s, middle 50s here the next couple of days, although it is going to be calmer on Saturday, just a bit breezy here on Friday. 44 on Sunday, and then we are going to be back into the 70s for early next week. We are cooler here on this Sunday because we have some rainfall that's going to be pushing in, and also another low pressure system that's going to move in, just allowing for more breeze from the north to push in colder air. 59 degrees though right now in Columbian. Low temperature for the day, 29 over there in central Nebraska, 50 in Des Moines, but 35 up in Minneapolis. There's still some blizzard conditions up here to the north in the Dakotas here. You can see over in Minnesota as well. Otherwise, we are looking at this cold front that's just snaking through Missouri and getting all the way down into parts of Texas, just getting through Dallas right now. It's doing a few different things for us. It's, of course, bringing in some cooler air, but it's also changing up our cloud cover. It's actually a bit sunny over for areas west of Highway 63. More sunshine starting to push in, just a cloud deck slowly starting to push out, and also showers are starting to push out as well. As I was mentioning in the past couple days, we were waiting for this line of some showers to pop up, mainly east of Highway 63, and that is exactly what happened here. And you can see it's getting through Montgomery and Gasconade County right now, but it's more put together over towards St. Louis and the Mississippi River. Otherwise, hour by hour, let's go ahead and track this system out, and you can see this entire line of showers continues towards the east, right along with that cold front. Cooler air rolling in for us, but we are sunny on our Friday. It's going to be a sunny day for you for the last day of the week, just cooler than any other day we've had so far this week. And then if we look into Saturday, we're going to start off our Saturday with quite a bit of sunshine. Look to the south, though. Clouds are starting to form up, and we have showers and some thunderstorms forming up there as well. That's our next system that we're tracking. It's going to move right in from the south, actually. And you can see pretty quickly as we head into Saturday afternoon, there are showers and thunderstorms here to our south, but we just have increasing clouds until we have rain rolling in late into the evening on Saturday. That's when we're looking at this rain pushing into mid-Missouri, especially south of Interstate 70. But the heaviest rain from the system at this point, as long as it stays on its current path, will be south of Interstate 44. And we're talking, it's very heavy rain. They could have some flash flooding issues south of Interstate 44, especially near the boot heel. But for us, just some general showers overnight, and then eventually even into Sunday morning too. But I think by the end of the day on Sunday, depending on how fast the system gets out of here, we could end up with even a bit of sunshine by the end of our Sunday. So that could be pretty nice for us to finally at least end the weekend with a bit of sunshine. And of course, it's going to be cooler on our Sunday with highs only reaching into the 40s. Now, overnight tonight, our temperatures are cooling only into the middle 50s. So still pretty warm for us for this time of year with gusts around 20 miles per hour. Actually, it's not. That's our high temperature, 56. Our low temperature tonight is 38 degrees. That's how cold we're getting. 38 for the low, 56 for the high tomorrow with a lot of sunshine on your Friday. Tomorrow, it's not as windy as it was today, but it's still breezy. Some gusts could be up to about 30 miles per hour. And then we're going to be at 55 on Saturday, 44 on Sunday. Remember, lows in the 30s all weekend long. Back into the 70s to start next week. And then a second system rolls through the middle of next week, giving us better chances for rain once again. Here's your Weather IQ question for the day, sponsored by Break Time. Multiple choice for you. Hurricanes can push how much water on land, water ashore? 20 feet, 15 feet, or 30 feet.
Ooh, that's hard.
I feel like it's got to be a lot. I'm going to guess 30.
I'm going to say 20. Play it safe.
Yeah, so it can push over 20 feet of water.
That's still a lot of water.
That's a lot of water to push that much on
Because even
land.
just, 3 inches can lift your car off of the road and take it away. Doesn't
about,
take much.
about a half a foot can, yeah, if it's moving
Yeah.
water for sure.
Okay, thanks, Kenton.
Yeah.
Coming up next in sports, the Royals and Cardinals were in action earlier today.
One team is heating up, the other not so much. That's next in sports.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Hi, everyone. A couple of wild, action-packed ball games this afternoon across the state. Home games for teams on both sides. The Royals against Seattle, the Cardinals, and the Dodgers. First, we'll start on the western side of the state. Kansas City, Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals look to halt a 9-game losing streak, and it looks so good for so long for KC. Jorge Soler homers there, and the Royals looking good early, up 3-0 in fact in the third inning of this game. They made it 4-0, but then the Mariners battled back. Mitch Haniger hits one deep to center field in the ninth inning with the Mariners down 2 players out, but Billy Hamilton couldn't make the catch. 2 runs scored to tie the game at 6. Hamilton, by the way, had to be carted off the field after banging into the wall. So it went to extra innings, and Seattle gets the victory. Dan Vogelbach, a home run for the Mariners. The Royals bullpen blows another one. Kansas City has lost 10 games in a row. On the eastern side of the state, the red-hot Redbirds look to sweep the Dodgers and get their 5th straight win. They're going the opposite way of the Royals, the positive way. Cloudy day at Busch, second inning. LA has the lead already, and David Freese, the former Cardinal, homers to give the Dodgers a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the second, Cards have runners at second and third. Walker Buehler, the former Vanderbilt Commodore, now pitching for the Dodgers. Wild pitch. 2-run score on it. How about that? And the Cardinals jumped ahead 4-3. Dodgers regained the lead, but then in the bottom half of the 5th, The Cards load the bases. Matt Wieters, backup catcher for St. Louis, making his first start with the Redbirds, gets a big hit to right to score 2 to give the Cards the lead for good at 8-7. And then they add some insurance up 9-7 when Jose Martinez would hit one out to the wall in center field to drive in a run. Cards win 11-7. They sweep the Dodgers in a 4-game set and have won 5 in a row. Coming up tonight at 10, a look at Missouri's final spring football practice. We'll hear from the Tigers before Saturday's black and gold game.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
It's called the world's largest water fight, and this year they brought out the biggest of water guns. We'll have more after the break. Now here's a look at what we're following for KMU8 News at 10. Now that Sophie Cunningham has been drafted, we're hearing how Rockbridge High School is reacting.
Yeah, go Bruins, what the athletic director and a school secretary are saying about the big news. That's at 10. Kenton.
Here's a look at your allergy report again. You've already seen the pollen likely on vehicles outside. This wind, as I have been mentioned the past couple of days, bringing in a lot of pollen and breaking it off from the trees. So high levels of tree pollen will continue into the weekend. 38 though by sunrise. You're going to notice that cool down, and then we're up in the middle 50s tomorrow afternoon.
Well, this is fun video. A group of elephants helped people in Thailand ring in the Thai New Year. They did it with a pretty big splash, as you can see there. The ceremony is called Songkran. It's called the world's largest water fight. The ceremony is celebrated all across Southeast Asia. How fun! I love that they painted. I love that they painted the elephants too. That's pretty cool. That's all our time for now. We'll see you back here at 9 and 10.